Say you down, you gotta stand up and fight. Oh, you gotta stand up. Oh, you, fight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Oh, you, fight.
In person is so much more beautiful.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast. Down here at the Bunch of Bull Studios as per usual. And this week, we got a special guest in the house. Why don't you introduce yourself, brother?
What's up? The name is Ddaddyfication, MDMA's finest. What's good with y'all?
What up, though, man? How you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good. You know, I was had a long day, running a little bit late, but you know we made it. You know to rock out with my people. So thanks for having me on the show.
For sure, man. We're going to get it in. Yeah. What up, y'all tuning in? Appreciate y'all, man. Let's go. But yeah, man. So, you know, I like to say how I was introduced to the artist, how I come to find a creative that I have on set typically. And this one's a little bit different. You reached out to me and you asked me about an opportunity and how to go about coming to the podcast. You know, we always love when people reach out to us and are interested in the program. So, you know, we made that happen. We figured it out. We made it happen for sure. I know you work with my homie, the cool brother, man, Malik Long.
Yeah, me and Malik is actually we've known each other for about 3 years now. We actually found each other on Facebook.
Okay.
And you know, music over some music stuff. I seen him talking. What's up? We got to do something together. That type of thing. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I told him, you know, we got to do something. And then one day there was this event going on in this place called the Underground that I was performing at, and he just happened to show up.
Okay.
So I was like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" Then
Perfect opportunity to put all the pieces together.
Yeah. So we started collabing. Ever since then, we're actually in the band right now together. We do music together, separately too.
Yeah.
But we're in the band together, and it's called Forever Fusion.
Okay, yeah, he did mention that on his last episode with us.
So
for sure.
Yeah, and in our group, there's like two other members, which is P. Michelle, go by Boss Lady, and Make It Make Sense.
Yeah.
Malik and myself, Ddaddyfication. So
for sure, man. No, absolutely. Now, you're a multifaceted entertainer. You have your hands in a couple different fires.
Yes.
Whenever it comes to this entertainment, this music thing that we do.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us all about what you do when it comes to this music thing, man.
Okay, yeah. When it comes to music, like I look at music a little differently. I love to. It's not just like spitting or anything like that. That's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the whole creativeness of it, because I'm one of those people that really don't. I'm not a big sharing of feelings type of guy. Most guys are.
Right.
So when I speak, I usually do it through lyrics.
Okay.
I do music and all that type of stuff. I just love
it's
the
a
whole
form of expression for you.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it. And when it comes out, you know, and I'm a perfectionist.
Right.
So I can't just write a bar or a whole verse and be like, yeah, that's it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it might come out like that. Most of the time I'm sitting there, I'm over calculating myself, and I'm going back in like, all right, man, I should put this here and change that up. So I'm kind of one of those people, because it needs to come out in my head the way, you know, I want it to sound. And I just love music. Music is a part of me, and I just love how it makes you feel. Music can change your mood.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
It can make you feel happy, sad, make you do dumb stuff for some strange reason. But it is. That's what music does, so that's what it does for me.
Yeah, not only that does it change your mood, sometimes it can it can also stabilize your mood, you know, to some degree.
Exactly, no question. You know, I shoot music videos.
Yeah, I was going to say you also do short films, music videos as well, right?
Yes, I write. I'm a screenwriter, and I also direct, and I produce my own films. I do all the work myself. I'm currently doing a film that I wrote now called After the Call.
Okay.
Starring Malik Long, Stacey Ross, myself, Crystal Bailey, Earl Egerton, goes by Diz the Poet, and Still City Amazon, you know, P. Michelle, you know, it's stuff like that.
Tell us about how that came to be, man. How did you, what was the inspiration for After the Call?
After the Call was inspired by the music video Call Me.
Okay.
Call Me is the music video for Malik's song. Malik's song after I rapped on the video because I'm on the song I'm on that song too. So after we rapped, I seen the chemistry between him and Stacy, and it was a joke at first. I was like, the way y'all act, man, I'm gonna write a movie around y'all. And he was like, "Oh, get out of here." And again, at first it was a joke, and I was like, you know what? No, seriously, I'm gonna do that. I am. And he kept thinking I wasn't gonna do it. I had the first couple scenes the next day.
Okay.
So, and from then on, it just took off. It started as a short film.
Right.
It was supposed to be like this short film where it was going to be like 20 minutes, just something that happened after they got together. And once they got together, this is just what happened to them, their relationship after they took the call.
Right. So it's more expression through music for you, right? So
Yeah.
you initially did the video. You had a vision after you did the video
Yes.
for the song, and then you continued that vision and you materialized it to be something else, to be the short film that we've seen it.
Yes.
Right. No, that's what's up. Now, how many films have you done to date, or how many films have you been a part of to date in the creative aspect?
As far as the film that I've wrote and produced myself, I got a handful. Zone Land Zero, which is a zombie film with starring these kids, and I play a zombie in it. But I produced, edited, do all the work on that. There's another movie called Light in the Dark Place, again, that I wrote, produced, and directed about the mental state of this one guy. And it's like a psychological thriller, So then I'm working on it. I wrote the script, but I didn't start filming on it yet. I wrote the script for another movie called Brenita.
Okay.
And that will be coming out soon. I haven't started filming on it yet, but it's following the life of this girl who starting her life over. And she moves into this apartment building, and she befriends this guy that lives downstairs from her. And just like, and she's like real quirky and all that type of stuff, and all this stuff starts happening to her. It takes a dramatic turn, but it's very lighthearted, so it's like a comedy drama.
Okay.
So I there's just a lot, but I've been a part of movies where I've acted in other movies and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. So it seems like you're a creative, and when it comes to the filmmaking, the music, you like to be a creative piece in that.
Yes.
Now, what started your journey in the music? We'll start with that. What started your journey in the music? What was the first song or first record or the first artist that inspires you to dip your hands in the music as more than just a spectator, but as a participant?
I mean, it's may not come as a surprise, but honestly, I'd say Michael Jackson. I remember I was watching. I was a kid. I couldn't have been but 5 maybe. And Motown 25. I think it was 25. And Michael Jackson went up there with the Jacksons, and then after they did their thing, he went up there and he did his own thing. It was the first time he did his own thing.
Yeah.
And he's just the way he moved and everything, the way he was performing.
That was the robot one?
It was amazing when he first did the moonwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and it surprised me because I was, as a kid, that was amazing to me.
Yeah.
And then watching Michael Jackson, his
progression.
He's amazing. He's just amazing entertainer.
It's funny you say that. Just how many people come here and cite Michael Jackson as their inspiration? It's amazing for real.
Yeah.
It speaks to his genius, right? Because there's so many people here. When I asked that question to him, they say Michael Jackson. My last guest, Greg Lamont. Shout out to Greg Lamont.
Yeah.
Said the same exact thing. You know
Oh,
what I
word?
mean? Yeah, he's 22-year-old gentleman came in here and cited Michael Jackson as his inspiration and why he started doing what he did. So, even long after his death, his
influence.
His influence is still felt.
I don't know any other artist, and this is not to take away from any other big artist that has done their thing in history, but most artists today, and even yesteryear, has picked up that essence of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You could see it from Chris Brown to
absolutely.
all them guys. Like they're everywhere. It's like,
well, like you said, his dance moves, man. Just
Yeah,
the way
oh
that he
my-
moves. How many people still emulate that?
it's moving. Like
There's so many people that emulate the way breaking came a lot from what Michael did. You know what I mean?
I never even thought of that.
So it's crazy, like you said, just how his inspiration is felt from generation to generation, from artist to artist, across genres. You know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be just any genre.
No.
So you sing, Michael? So you like to sing as well?
Yeah, I sing a little bit.
Yeah.
I would say I can carry a note.
Right.
I'm more of a lyricist as far as an MC, but I can carry a note because, like I said, I sing with the band, and I have parts where I do singing, but mainly I do the rapping. But I can carry a note. Yeah.
Now,
So I would never consider myself a singer though.
Now, how does that correlate being a screenwriter as well as a hip hop artist? I know I once seen Ice Cube say,
Yeah.
a movie executive told him, if you can write raps, you can write a screenplay. Do you find that to be true? Do you think there's a strong correlation between writing rhymes as well as writing screenplays?
At that, I wouldn't say that's where I correlated it, but I can piggyback off of the Ice Cube thing. Ice Cube said one time, because when he first broke into movies, he did The Boys in the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was his first movie with John Singleton.
Mm-hmm.
So his first movie, after that, he would get parts here and there, little bit parts, always playing the gangster and all that. And I think it was he said, John Singleton said, stop waiting for people to give you movies and write your own.
Yeah.
And he wrote Friday with DJ Pooh.
Yep.
Took off from there.
Right.
So I was inspired by that as far as screenwriting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, doing it myself. As far as
shout out DJ Pooh, man. He don't get the recognition he
don't.
deserves,
He really
man.
don't. He really
DJ Pooh's an amazing. If you guys aren't familiar with DJ Pooh, he is one of the writing partners with Ice Cube.
Yeah, he wrote the
as
Wash.
well as a dope producer. Music producer as well. He made some of your favorite songs and hits. But shout out DJ Pooh, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that little tidbit that him and Ice Cube
Oh,
collaborated.
they wrote that. They wrote that
as
together.
well as like you said, he did the Wash too.
The Wash. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. It's
DJ
like,
Pooh was the one that played Red, the one that got his bike stolen.
He gonna cry in the car.
Yeah, you gonna cry in the car. That was DJ Pooh.
See, I think what it is, DJ Pooh is one of them people where I think that he's okay with being behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll jump in a movie and throw himself, but he doesn't need to be the star.
Right.
Cube, I don't think Cube is at a point where he needs to be the star.
Right.
Because he'll put people like Chris Tucker and Mike Epps to funny up the movie and even be more popular than him is. As long as the movie sells,
Right.
I think he's more executive
Yeah.
now. You know what I mean?
But he's just he's the name. He's
Kevin
he's
Hart,
the brand. You know what I mean?
he's the brand. Cube Vision.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the fact that, and the other thing I respect about Cube is that with him coming up being with his roots being so rooted in gangster rap,
Right.
for him to be such a family-oriented movie maker, you know what I mean? Because at the beginning, they was giving him these hood movies because that was his image.
That was his image.
He said he didn't want to do that. He wanted to make movies with his family.
Mm-hmm.
Families can watch.
Yeah.
And I respect that, So most people don't even know he was a rapper.
Yeah. No, it's funny how people transcend, their roles, like Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? We see Snoop become the biggest just American icon in ever. You know what I mean? Like my kids like to play Fortnite, and I was playing Fortnite with them the other day, and they got a whole Snoop drop on there. You know what I mean?
Word?
Where Snoop got a whole mansion on Fortnite, and
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And Snoop's on every commercial nowadays and just doing.
He does everything.
Oh, he's everything, and sometimes in that you forget that Snoop was one of the biggest hip hop stars of all time.
Yeah.
And a Crip, still to this day, he still rep. You know what I mean?
Oh, and he loved the Berg.
And he loved them Stillers. He loved them
he
Stillers.
Loved the Berg.
So no, it's amazing to see people transcend. Like we talk about Ice Cube and Snoop, just just transcending from beyond hip hop into just pop culture.
That's funny you said that because I was just having a conversation with somebody about that. Like Snoop he's another one. He has gone beyond just gangster music.
Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, you wouldn't even think with his personality and character, you wouldn't even think he did the music he did. because he's just a likable person.
Right.
he just is.
He's America's grandpa now.
Right. Yeah, first was his uncle, now
Yeah.
it's the grandpa.
Yeah,
but
now he's the grandpa. Yeah.
yeah, I
I mean, he's still the
him.
uncle. He's still Uncle Snoop, though, man. He's still Uncle Snoop.
Sure. I respect 50. 50 went in.
Yeah.
Even if you wasn't a fan of his music for whatever reason, you got to respect the guy. The dude's vision, he had a vision from the beginning. He knew that once he got signed and he put out his music, he immediately went on G Unit Records, or he started G Unit Records.
Right.
And he just started doing stuff.
Started
like
branding
outside.
himself. He made G Unit
immediately.
clothing.
Immediately.
Bought stock in vitamin water. Bought vitamin
Yeah.
water. Ended up selling vitamin water for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm like you said, a true visionary.
Yeah. That's the type of stuff. Because I don't think you should just be a rapper.
No.
I don't think you should just be. You can be really good.
Yeah.
It's rare. It's rare that you're just gonna be a rapper. I mean, if you just want to rap, cool. I mean, yeah, I'm all for it. You know, no matter when you want to do it, do your thing. But if you really, somebody told me this one time. Shout out to Dave Brunsky. He was the very first manager I've ever had. He was this Jewish white dude, and it was me and my boy Dave West, aka Soup D, and he looked at us as a commodity. He believed in us when even the black producers wouldn't believe in us. And so he seen something in us, and he went all out for us.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying to me one time, I guess he was just asking, but he's saying to me one time, he said, "Now before we do this, do you want, or you just making this music for your friends at the crib?" "No, I'm good, thank you." "You making this music for your friends at the crib? Something for your buddies to listen to? Or you trying to take this to somewhere else?" And I was like, at that time, I never really thought about it.
Right.
I just
Never crossed your mind.
just did music. I just figured, when your people like it, you're like, yeah,
That's good enough for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never really think outside of that box. And he made me think, like, oh shoot, now I want the world, if possible, I want the world to hear it. And he told me, it was like, you are your own worst enemy. That made me feel some type of way, because he said, you're very talented, you do a lot of stuff, but you let people get in the way of that, and you don't go to your full potential.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I thought I was doing my thing, not in a cocky way, but I just thought I was doing the dang thing, and I guess I wasn't. Some people have to shine that light on you sometimes, and just open up your eyes, because sometimes you can get caught in the same rhythm, so you feel it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And so when he told me that,
Complacency is killer. Yeah.
yeah.
For sure.
So, and I sat on it for a second, and I was like, damn, he right. And nobody want to hear, no one want to hear they're wrong, or they're not doing it, especially when they feel like they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was doing it, and when I really looked at it all as a whole,
You had to kill your ego.
I was like, dang, man,
Yeah.
I'm not really doing it like I should be.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm any gift God gave me, I'm going all in.
I think
lost friends, but
I think that's a poignant thing that you said that he told you is you're your own worst enemy, because I feel not even I think we're all our own worst enemy in a lot of cases, and a lot of times we get in our own way. I mean, the only real limitation that we have is ourselves. Because there's nothing that we can't accomplish.
Right.
if that's what we're focused on doing. So in a lot of ways, we need to hear that. We need to have someone tell us like, hey, you're in your own way. Like the only thing that's stopping you is you, because that's the case in most cases, 99% of the time.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing, is we're hindering ourselves because we're making up excuses along the way. Like, oh, I can't do it for this reason, or I could go further if I was doing this. Like, no, why aren't you doing that? You know what I mean?
sang that song.
All it is just to take the steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, that was good advice he gave you. Now
it was.
that resonated for you. Were you able to make progression off of that off of that comment? Like after you did some self-reflection and you did some inventory with yourself, were you able to take it a step further?
Yes, because I stopped. For one, I had to start focusing on me.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, like if I'm around other creatives, I would put a lot of me into them, because I'm helping them.
You would start pouring in.
I'll
people.
songwrite, I'll produce, I'll do your video, because I believe in your talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was mainly because I always wanted somebody to believe in me like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it just comes out.
So you just pouring in, you pouring
Yeah,
into
so I'm
others
pouring
what
into
you would
people.
want somebody to do to you.
Yeah. So, and I guess it doesn't always.
You could leave yourself dry if you
Yeah.
pour too much.
I had
Yeah.
again. That's what I'm saying. These were all lessons I had to learn.
Hmm.
Where people was like, "You got to be selfish." That's not saying spit on people to
Oh
help you,
no.
but I did have to learn to actually put me first sometimes.
No,
You know what I mean?
that's a beautiful thing, bro. I definitely
Yeah.
want to elaborate on that because I had a friend tell me in a moment when I was down on myself, like not down, but just down on myself, and he was like, "Man,
Right.
you gotta be more selfish."
Yes.
He's like, "I know you're not that dude, but he was like,
Yeah.
you gotta take care of yourself." And
Yeah.
as he said that, I reflected on it. And I did some self inventory and thought about how right he was.
Right.
Because
Right,
what
right.
can I do for anyone else if I'm not together myself? So
Facts.
being selfish sometimes is for the betterment of others around you,
Yeah.
because two dead batteries can't charge each other. All the
Never
other
thought of it like
cliches.
that.
Yeah, man, it's a real thing. So if you aren't in a place to do right by yourself, how can you pour on anybody else? If you've already drained yourself of all of what you have, how can you pour in anyone else? So
No, that's facts.
yeah, selfish is sometimes a necessary and good thing. You know what I mean?
I think when people hear selfish, they think of
And the negative connotation behind
negative.
it, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe at the time I thought that too.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Hey, they need my help, man. That wouldn't be cool, this and that. But the sad part about that is most of the time, and I'm not gonna say 100% of people. Some of the people I still rock with, but
They don't even
most of the-
appreciate it.
yeah, most of the time, people will take that
Yeah.
and give nothing back to you.
Yep.
So now you're watching your whole career or your whole whatever you're meant to be just fade away.
Right.
It's there. You can pick it up whenever you want, but you're putting all this energy into this people that really don't. When you believe in their stuff more than they believe in their stuff,
Right.
that's an issue.
Right.
And I started seeing that
Yeah.
because they would sit back and they would let me do everything.
Yeah.
Everything. They would come to the studio and they'd be like, "Hey, I got this song, man." I was like, "All right, let's cue you up. Let's do what we got to do." And they'll do like the first verse. And I'm like, "All right, well, let's get on that second verse." "Oh, well, yeah, about that. I want you to write something for it." Dude, you can't come to a studio and do
And
something.
not be prepared, yeah.
And it's just sometimes a lot of ungratefulness. And that's one thing I've never been is ungrateful. But there's a lot, you can help people till your face turn blue, but you can't teach people to not be
You
selfish.
can't
Either
want it. You
are or
can't
you
want it
aren't.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to want it for themselves as
Yeah.
well. No, for sure.
It's messed up.
Yeah, it can be. It certainly can
yeah.
be.
Yeah.
So now, you said you was inspired by Mike. You started listening to him. Now, when was the first time you made an original piece or wrote an original song? How did that come about?
Oh my God. Well, I just tried it. The first song, and this is terrible. The first song I did was a song called "Give Me a Piece of Your Heart." It was made off of the Jackson 5 song "Oh Baby, Give Me One More Chance,"
Okay.
and I was singing it, so I won't be singing it today because it was
Yeah.
horrible. It's horrible when you think of it now, but the very first full song I wrote was a song I wrote called "Prepare for Proper Punishment," and it was, I mean, at the time I thought it was the sickest thing that ever been written. But it was the first song. I was proud of it because it was the first 3-verse song, and I had a hook in it.
It was your first real song.
First real song. Whether it was good or not, I don't know.
Did you end up recording it?
I did record it.
Yeah.
I did record it. It was good. It was good. I thought it was good. And everybody else that heard it kind of thought it was good, but I didn't really spread it out because I was embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to say it sucked. So I was afraid to let people. So when I started, I was afraid to let people hear my music
Yeah.
because I didn't.
Yeah, you wasn't
wanna
ready for
be
the criticism.
criticized.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
wasn't
wanna
ready
be
for the
criticized.
criticism.
So so I was a little nervous. So what I would do, I'd be sneaky with it. So I would have some people over my house, and they would come over, and I would put the songs in between other songs. So let's say New Edition, Bobby Brown. I don't know.
Whatever
Eminem-
was popping.
Eminem,
Whatever was
whoever.
popping. Yeah, yeah.
So I'll have all them playing, and all of a sudden this random song comes on, and then
You try to gauge the reaction.
yeah. So the first time, my first reaction was a friend. She said, and she listened to a song, and the song was called "Party on Me," and she was like, "Who is that?" And she was going like that. I was like, wow, are you feeling that? Yeah. She's like, I like that. I'm like, all right. I didn't even say it was me. I was like, all right. Because then I did it again. I said, let me try it again. So I played another song, put another song in the mix. Then when I got a reaction, I'm like, oh, who's this? I'm like, you feeling that? I was like, yeah. I was like, all right. They're like, hey, who is that? I'm like, somebody in the city. So I let it go for a little bit. So I did that a couple times, a few times, to the point where when I did it again and they liked that, I did a song called what was it called? It was Down Something. It was called Down Something. And when I got love, I was like, yeah, that's me. They're like, that's you. And from there,
Is that what built your confidence? You started getting that validation through seeing people's genuine reaction. That's a good way to do it, because that way you don't get any bias in what they're saying. They're not just telling you something because they're in your presence. They actually are giving their honest opinion.
And that's what I want. Be honest with me. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with you saying you don't like a song of mine. It might not be your flavor.
Right.
You know what I mean? But one thing you can't say is that it was just a bad song.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to.
It might not be your cup of tea, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah. You know what I mean? There might be good songs, but you just might not be feeling. Not your thing. But yeah, I started getting more confident when I started saying it. And
shout out to everybody watching right now. We see y'all.
Well, appreciate y'all for tuning in, for real.
Yeah.
But I was nervous at first, like I said, and then the first live performance. Playing it at home is one thing.
Yeah.
Now you got to take it to the stage. I think that's probably more important than just letting them hear it.
Seeing an actual crowd reaction. So hold on, let's rewind before we even get there now.
All right.
You're recording. How did you stumble into recording? Now, you said you from like east side of Pittsburgh, from that area.
Mm-hmm.
Music wasn't always easily accessible, especially recording and things like that. It was only a handful. Damn.
I guess.
There was only a handful of people that really did recording and had studios and things like that. Who introduced you to recording and showed you the proper way to get all that stuff going on?
Again, Dave B.
Yeah.
Dave Broski, that little Jewish guy.
Yeah. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah.
Dave B.
I wish I knew who he was today, man. I miss him.
Yeah.
Because he was pivotal in my trajectory into where I was.
It's important to recognize those people for sure.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, him, my mom, obviously. My mom didn't like rap, but any show that I had, she was front row.
Yeah.
When she could be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Didn't matter if she understood a word I said. She was right there.
And that wasn't her cup of tea.
Yeah, but she was there for me. She wasn't there for the music per se. She was there for me.
For the support.
To support me. So, but as far as Dave, I definitely got to give him much love, because he really seen something in me at the time that nobody else was seeing. You know what I mean? And because there's just a lot of times when it don't happen fast for you.
Mm-hmm.
You want to quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This ain't happening. So he was the first one to take us into the studio, me and my boy Sue.
Mm-hmm.
He's the first one to take us in the studio. Now, it was like a kid in a candy store. Like, you walk in there, I'm like, you looking around like, oh, shoot. Then the first time you walk in the booth, and you're behind that glass, and the engineer's like, all right, you ready? Now
like,
your
this
heart's
is real,
pounding.
yeah.
Yeah, my heart's pounding. I've always recorded all at home, at the crib.
Right.
You know, now I'm doing it in a
professional
real studio.
professional setting.
So, you know, you got to be cool, though. I'm a rapper. I got to be cool. You know, I can't. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. You know, I had to show that side. I was terrified, though. I didn't want to mess up. And we killed it. So after the first time, you're good.
Yeah.
After the first time. But that
Get the
first time,
butterflies
very
out.
intimidating. Very intimidating.
For sure.
So anybody tell you they just jumped off at the gate and they had it all together. Even when you're smooth and you got it and it comes off like butter, underneath you still feel that.
Nerves.
You feel the pressure.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what it was. And I get nervous almost, and I don't want to say nerves. I think it's more of an anxious thing. Every time I just did a show in Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio yesterday.
Yeah.
With the band. And we did like 5 songs and we killed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and within the set, you know, I spit. You know what I mean? And the singers sing, and you know, we just really like grab them. But every time before a show, I get that anxiety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? not like I'm scared. It's like I'm ready to go. My mental's like, just give me the
You
mic.
ready to go? Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's what it is. So I'm like, all right, come on, let's go. I just want to go.
How do you work through that? Do you have like a routine to work through that? How do you?
Honestly, as soon as I walk on stage, as soon as they call my name, coming to the stage, Forever Fusion, or coming to the stage, Ddaddyfication, and I walk on stage, I tell you
It
no
all
lie.
melts away.
As soon as I grab that mic
Yeah.
and open my mouth, like, what up? Blah. It's just like, I'm just tuned in.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
No, it's funny. I always compare it
Yeah.
to like, it's the ultimate high, right? Whenever you're performing, it's a high. You're out of body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a spiritual experience.
Facts.
You know, and especially if you're hitting it in all the right places and you're doing everything you're supposed to do in the crowd, feeling you.
Yeah.
Then it can be real spiritual and you can be out of body
Yeah.
with that sort of thing. So I definitely understand what you're saying about it all
Yeah.
melting away.
Oh, you be spitting?
Absolutely.
My God.
But this is your time though. It ain't about
Oh,
me.
okay.
We can
We'll
certainly talk
rap
about that. But yeah. So you were getting to your first performance. You said performing was something altogether different. You said letting people hear the music once it's recorded. It was a thing for you. You still had some of that angst.
Yeah.
But performing was a whole different monster. Do you remember that first time performing? What that felt like? The nerves, the setting. Do you still recall all of those things?
Yeah, because playing it, I think the issue was I was afraid of forgetting my rhymes, and because when you obviously I wasn't as confident then as I am now. Now I'm like, I hit the stage, I go all in, but that around them first times, you're still trying to get your stage presence.
Right.
So I'm trying to get it in my mind.
See what works, see what doesn't work. Trial and error. Yeah.
How do I move? What do I say? Do I just stand in one spot? Should I work the whole stage?
Right.
So, should I get amped up? And I didn't have the instrumental. I just had the track. So I had to rap over the track.
Yeah.
So, but the first time I had the instrumental, I was nervous because I said, "Dang, what if I don't remember the words?" I just was all in my head. Because soon as you step on stage and you see all those people looking at you, you just, like I said, I don't feel that way now.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, when you walk on there and their faces are just stone cold.
Yeah.
These people ain't happy to see you. At least that's not how they look. They just want to see, hey, what you going to do. That's kind of how you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on, man, what you got? Let's see what you got. That's kind of how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it looks. So you're like, all right, let me show you what I got. And you go up there and you do your thing. So, but I was definitely nervous because I never wanted to look stupid. But
you said, being a rapper is a cool thing.
Yeah.
We always got to maintain the cool.
Got to keep the cool.
That's
what I'm saying. On surface, I was good.
Yeah.
Inside, at the beginning, I was jelly roll.
Right.
But outside of that, but then I had to tell myself, you got to be an entertainer when you're on stage, and I think that we've lost a lot of that.
It's almost theatrical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're putting on a show for the people.
You put on the show. And that doesn't mean you bring on 32 people on stage with you. You have the mic. Now, if you do that, all them people should mean something while you're on stage.
They should be contributing something towards the performance.
Yes. So I'm not completely against people coming on stage or something like that. As your people to amp up, definitely depend on the song.
Mm-hmm.
But do I think they should be on stage all throughout? No. I mean, because sometimes that spotlight got to be on you.
Especially if you're an emerging or underground artist.
Exactly.
The crowd may not know who they're looking at that point. They'll be confused.
Everybody
and
got
lost.
a mic.
Yeah, so they don't know who's doing what. And like you said, you don't want to take away from your spotlight. And once again, it goes back to what we were talking about. Sometimes the things that are held as negative, like being selfish and things like that.
Yeah.
But if you're the guy that's supposed to be doing that, you need to be the guy that's supposed to be doing that.
Got to do it.
Yeah.
I think you got to really focus on who you are as an artist, and what you want the world to see when you start spitting. Because that's another thing I was told. Like, if somebody was to ask you, what kind of artist are you? What would you say? Most people don't think about it. They just say, I just rap. You know
What would you say?
Right now, back then, I'd had no real answer. Right now, I would call myself a multi-genre MC. I love conscious music, but I also like music where you can move to, dance to, lyrical. Like I don't have a set thing, and I had to figure that out because at the time, I think I was just one trick
One
pony.
dimensional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was finding my way.
Right.
Music, I don't just write songs like I'm gonna write a club song today.
Hmm.
I'm gonna write this type of song today. I'm gonna write this. I don't do that. Music. When I hear a beat, I do what the beat say do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm inspired by everything. So if I'm sitting around and I hear something in the background, something from a movie, something from another song, something somebody said a phrase or just some words,
That might
I'm like,
inspire
oh
it.
shoot, and my mind immediately starts working. I'm a Capricorn, so my mind just immediately just starts working on, and I've lost a lot of stuff because I didn't
Write it down.
write it down.
Yeah.
Think, oh, that's good. Or I'll remember it later. I don't.
Never come back to you.
Never come back. Sometimes I do, but not most of the time I don't, because you move on and do other stuff, and then you come back to it. Something else reminds you of it, then you forgot what you wanted to put down.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
The creative process and how things work like that, and how it flow,
Yeah.
how energy flows,
Yeah,
and how those things come to you, and the importance, like you said, of being in that moment and respecting that thing, because music and for me anyways, and the way I've always perceived it,
yeah.
is such a spiritual thing.
Oh, facts for sure.
You know what I mean? And those moments come to you for a reason, and it's floating around. It's floating around in your atmosphere. It's floating
Yeah,
around
yeah.
in the atmosphere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's important to make sure we capture those moments when we can. Like you said, how many things are lost
Yeah.
that could have been something great. And
Oh,
you
my
know, and if it's
goodness.
in you, it ain't going nowhere. So it'll another one to come to you. But it's
Yeah.
it's definitely good to capture those moments.
I agree.
For
I
sure.
agree. I think, and I tell anybody, man, I said, you never know. If you got, because I know a lot of people that might have just quit because maybe, they feel like they had to get a job and just take care of the family, which is understandable. You know what I mean? I always feel like if you got to, or if they feel like it just ain't happening for them fast enough. I feel like if you go, and I'll tell anybody, I don't care when it is, or if you're still feeling it and you feel like you got it in you, do it.
Right.
Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Just do it. If it manifests itself and you feel like you took it as far as it can go, then yeah, end on your own terms. Or if you feel like there's not an audience for it anymore, then you can end on your own terms. But never let somebody tell you that you just can't put out music when you want to put out music.
Right.
You might make the song that might change the world.
Right.
You never know. You might do
Might
the
make the
next.
song that might change your world. It might be $1 million for you sitting right there.
Anybody telling you to stop doing, it doesn't even just have to be music.
Yeah.
Anybody,
Whatever you're passionate about.
yeah, anybody telling you you should stop this or you shouldn't do that, or anybody really feeling that, if you still feeling it personally in your heart and you feel like you still can make it blow somehow, it doesn't have to be on big scale, even on a small scale.
Right.
Do that, man.
Hell yeah.
Don't let nobody deter your
Your vision.
vision,
Your
man.
dream.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, don't let nobody deter your dreams.
Shut
That's a real comment right there, and that's a real
Yeah.
statement. Now,
Facts.
back to that first show.
Yeah.
You said you had the nerves. You were, you were anxious to get it out. How was the reaction? How was that reaction that first show? How did that go for you?
I think it was all right.
Yeah.
I think it was all right because at that time I didn't really know delivery.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about delivery. I just said it plainly.
Right.
I wrote the lyrics. I said the lyrics. You know what I mean?
That goes back to what we were talking about, it being
Yeah.
theatrical, of being
Yeah.
performing art.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you, when somebody told me, this is after I got into it, and somebody had told me they wasn't feeling my song, and I was like, oh, why? I thought it was good. Again, I thought it was good, and it wasn't the lyrics. It wasn't the lyrics. It wasn't anything like that. He said you need to have more emphasis on certain words. You need to. He was just telling
He was
me little
explaining to
key
you
points.
basically what a delivery is.
Yes, and I never thought of delivery. I mean, I guess you deliver it when you rap it, but delivery's it's different.
Delivery with with confidence.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I didn't do that. I just kind of just set it flat.
And once again, it's theatrical, so you have to make sure you, like you said, to emphasize on the right words or
Yeah.
getting the feelings that you're writing down across. You may feel a certain way, but it's in order to make other people understand
Yeah.
that feeling through your words, through your delivery, through the way you perform it.
Yeah, and it took me a while to
Nail that aspect
really
of it.
really get it because I had to
Yeah.
with my words I had to make sure because I also find in this poetry because rapping and poetry is kind of like a thin line between it.
Sure,
It's spoken
absolutely.
word.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a spoken word. So even a good poet, you don't have to say the most deepest things of all time. Sometimes it's all about how you say it.
And it's the feeling that,
Yeah.
that those words invoke.
Right.
It's the feelings that those words invoke. So it could be just simply the way that you say it.
Yeah, I agree. I
You know
agree.
what I mean? It's funny enough.
Yeah.
I think like as far as it stands right now in the industry, a guy that I noticed that does a lot of this, especially with the most recent project, is Kendrick Lamar. He found
Right,
a way to do certain things with his words that he find that other people enjoy doing as well. You know what I mean? So it's a cool thing once you understand how that works for the consumer. Once you understand your audience and you say things in a certain way that it's just cool for people to say. It may make them feel a certain may make them feel confident in a moment that they need to feel confident. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why sports and music has such a tight relationship because
That's a good point.
a lot of players amp themselves up and makes them feel confident to hear a certain song in a certain moment. So
That's a good point.
it's important to deliver it in a way that's confidence. Like I heard, I hear many of up and coming artists that rap, perform, or record, and it's like the stuff you're saying is dope,
Yeah.
but you're just not saying it in a way that I believe
There's no
you.
life to it.
Yeah.
It's just like you're saying it just to say it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm a rapper. Here's my rap.
right.
You know what I mean? And again, there's a lot of talented people out there, but there's a difference between, and that's the thing. We have to, if you're going to, that's what we was talking about earlier about the art of it. Uh, I have to, I have to write what I feel.
Mhm.
I think that's what comes out more genuine, and I'm able to say it in a way where if it's a song that's heartfelt, and if it makes you tear up, that was the purpose because I wrote it in the way. Now I have to deliver it with that emotion that I wrote it in.
Right.
If it's a fun song, it makes you feel good, then that's the type of delivery it's going to be. If it's just a song, just any song that has anything, even if you're spitting lyrics, when you just spitting, if you just want to be clever with your bars, that right there, even with that, people are listening. And I know that listening to lyrics isn't as popular anymore. I don't know why that is. I know if the beat's hot, that's mostly enough for the most part. And I see it starting to come back around where lyrics are becoming like real serious again. I think lyrics is what really makes the song. Because when you cut the beat off, I want to hear what you're saying without the music.
Mhm.
Because I love the song. The song sounds good, and the way you ride the beat with the music, I'm feeling that. That feeling you got me. How does I hear your words and I like them? Let me hear. I want you to spit something to me with no beat.
So I think no, I definitely understand what you're saying, and
Yeah.
I think it's just a common misconception that the lyricism isn't there
Yeah.
today, or it's not as popular. I think it's just as popular as it always been, right?
Right.
Um, but it's just about what gets the radio play and
Yeah.
what you hear on the mainstream
Yeah.
is mostly what it is. But I think lyricism is a thing, especially in hip hop. I think in all music genres, lyricism is important. But I think in hip hop, lyricism will never go anywhere because that's what it was based in. That's what it was made in.
Facts.
That's what it was created in.
Facts.
And I think things are gimmicky. They're
Yeah.
trendy. You know, trends fade though.
I-
But the essence of it
that's a good
always
point.
remains the same. The essence of it always remains the same, and true MCs always rise. The cream always rises to the top.
I think just piggybacking off that real quick. I think that's why people like Snoop,
Hmm.
Eminem, Dr. Dre, Method Man. These people aren't just rappers anymore. Like, yes, they're rapping, but they're still relevant. They're more relevant now than it was when they first came out.
I think the other thing to that too is they understand about diversifying
Yeah.
their assets, right?
Yeah.
Diversifying, because you always want to have multiple streams of income. Like this is any business, right? You can't just be one sided if you truly want to be successful in life. You can't just have one form of something coming in and dependent upon that to be beyond the average.
Yeah.
And those individuals seen that early on. It's funny. I don't know how many people know this. I'm a big hip hop head, so I like to listen to all the articles and watch the documentaries and all that stuff. So the Jay-Z and Game had beef, right? They had a battle back and forth back in the day, and it all started from a miscommunication. Jay-Z said to Game, "Oh, you're that rap guy from out the West Coast, or whatever." He said, "You better figure out something else to do."
I didn't even know he said
Yeah,
that.
yeah. He said you better figure out something else to do. You guys don't last long.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the Game took that offensively, which I mean, I could see how he could.
I
Take
can
that
see how he could
offensively.
have took that bad, but yeah.
But then he said later on, thinking about it, later on years, he understood more and more what he was saying. Saying you need to have more than one hustle if you want to be successful in hip hop.
Yeah.
And of course, Jay-Z epitomized that, right? Because Rockefeller had Rockaware, they had the films, they had the liquor, you know what I mean? You know, the Ace, they stuck their hands in so many different things because they did understand that, you know, hip hop wasn't going to sustain you for the rest of your life.
No.
you
It's
know
a
what I mean?
changing genre all the time.
Well, not even that, just like I said, it's tough to really truly be successful if you're just dependent on one thing. And that's even just in average America. Like, of course, we can be comfortable and successful in corporate America or your regular day-to-day job. But if you want to exceed the norms, you have to be willing to do different things. You got to be willing to diversify. You got to invest in stocks. You got to invest in my homie Jesse over there. He's a big collector. He understands about investing in different trading cards because that's going to get you money later on down the line. And sneakers, you know what I mean?
Right.
I have another homie who buys and sells, you know, sneakers and games and vintage stuff online, but just understanding that you got to have multiple hustles,
Right.
in order to exceed the norm of what everybody else is doing. Because if you're doing what everybody else is doing, you're going to get the same results everybody else is getting. So,
Oh no, I completely agree.
so I think that's what those guys had in common is they had the vision early on, like I have to be more than just a rapper. I want to be a mogul.
Yeah, yeah.
And that became a big thing in hip hop, right? Which I think was cool for the black community, right? Because it caused us all to start thinking differently.
Yeah.
When we seen guys like Dame Dash and Birdman and Master P, we seen these guys doing all of these different business maneuvers.
Yeah.
It was inspiring to us all. Like, why can't we be independent business owners? Why can't we diversify and do these different things? And I think that's what those guys have in common. They just had the vision to see beyond being a rapper for now or being a cool rapper for now.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah.
That's true though, especially P. I don't think Master P's in the conversation like he should be. He's still doing this thing. Master P is still doing this thing.
No, he's very successful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that people don't really, when people hear Master P, they're like,
because he's not in the spotlight, but he don't have to be.
I know, I completely agree.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah, you think about Dr. Dre and all that. Much respect to Dre, but you know, like all the producers, should we even say Diddy? Because I don't know what the story is with Diddy, but it's crazy.
He's a music mogul.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying as far as he's concerned, because he's another individual who was able to go out and get in by different means.
Right. I mean,
and that's the funny thing about the United States of America, right? Like, and not condoning anything that he did at all, right?
No,
what he's alleged to have done. I don't know what he's done or what he hasn't done.
Yeah.
But not condoning anything that he's been alleged to have done, because someone may be looking at this 5 years later and he's acquitted and find out all this is a sham and then we're looking silly. So
we're talking crazy. So
so once again,
allegedly,
what he is alleged to have been done, I don't condone in any of that.
Right.
Of what I've heard of
Right.
that. But just to the point of what we're talking about with being a mogul and business ownership, there were so many guys like that showed us, like, oh, okay, we can do that. We can do this. And it's a shame that we have to look in it through entertainment. I say a shame just because, you know, other cultures, you know, white folks or Hispanic folks, they don't really look to entertainers as their
Yeah.
role models, the
Right,
same way
right.
we do. They have senators and
Yeah.
governors, or political leaders and organizers. But a lot of time we look to entertainers for those people, and thank goodness
That's
that we
true.
had individuals like this to show us it
Yeah.
doesn't just have to be hip hop.
No, I agree.
Go get you a cookie brand.
Yeah.
Go get you a merch brand. Go get you a whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
I
So
agree. I agree. I think when it comes down to hip hop, I think because and it's funny because people will say Michael Jackson, you're a rapper. Yeah, yeah. It's not so. It's the inspiration, but you got Michael Jackson, Bobby Brown. I grew up. I remember Bobby Brown said he was talking about when you make your album, when you make an album, whatever the title track of the album is, all your songs should revolve around
you
that.
should have a
title.
theme around the title track.
Right.
Okay.
And at that time, like I said, I never thought of that. You just do random stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna call it the roof.
Yeah.
And he just kind of just have just songs about anything. But he was the first one I heard where he said have a theme to
Right.
your album. So if his album was called Don't Be Cruel, all his songs was kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Had some relationship
had
to
some
that
relationship.
to that theme.
I
Yeah.
was like, ooh, shoot. And Tatiana Ali, the chick that Will Fresh Prince,
Played Ashley on
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Yeah.
she said, because she had a hit song out
Mhm.
one time called "Girl You Knock Me Out" or "Boy You Knock Me Out" rather, and they asked her, they're like, "Oh, you got a hit song? How's it feel to have a hit song?" In my mind, I thought she was gonna be like, "Well, it feels good. You know, I'm out to doing my thing." Her exact answer, real humble, like too. She said, "It's easy to make a hit song. It's hard to make a hit album."
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh shoot." Again, you don't think of stuff like that. You just
Right.
figure you're gonna just throw stuff in the stew.
You're in the moment.
DMX said, when they asked DMX one time, "How do you pick your singles for your album?" "I don't pick singles." He said, "All my songs are singles."
Yeah.
I'm like, huh. See, because at that time, people give the impression like your other songs are like fillers, or some
Right.
songs are like fillers.
Right.
Yeah, that's a hit right there.
Mhm.
We'll go with that. You know, but this song was good too. Oh no, we ain't gonna put that one out. We ain't gonna put this one out. Andre 3000 didn't want to put out Hey Ya. Well, no, that's not true. He wanted to put out Hey Ya, but the label didn't want him to put out. He said he had that song like 8 to 10 years before he put it out. And they didn't want him to put out the song. Now the song is a far remove from who we knew him to be.
Well, we knew Outkast to be
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So when he came out with Hey Ya, I'm like, what the heck? I remember somebody telling me, like, you hear that new Andre 3000 song? I was like, it's called Hey Ya. I was like, he got his own song? I was like, oh yeah, I want to check it out. So I checked it out, and I'm like,
Wasn't what you was expecting at
nah,
all.
maybe don't mess around. I was like,
Yeah.
the heck is this? Now, it wasn't like I dissed it. It threw me off.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't what you was expecting.
I
yeah.
was expecting to hear like Dre bars, you know. So, but then I found myself respecting that side of the album more than Big Boys. I liked Big Boys, but it was true to form what Outkast was.
Yeah.
Dre's album, Andre 3000's album, it's like this is who he is.
Yeah.
So now
It
that
was
he,
more experimental.
yes, so now that he was able to do him,
Express who he was.
he
Yeah.
expressed who he was, and it was on a whole nother level. And I know a lot of people say I ain't feeling that. I ain't feeling Dre. So I'm feeling because you're used to that.
That's one. That's
Yeah.
a top 10 highest selling album.
Yes.
If I'm not
Of all
mistaken,
time,
it might
4
be.
times platinum.
It might be number one. If I'm not mistaken, y'all can fact check me.
Yeah.
On that. I know y'all will. But if it's not number one, it's definitely top 5. I do know that to be
Heck
true.
yeah, Love Below speaker box.
Uh-huh.
You know, and the
Also,
whole,
double sided.
CD?
Yeah, double sided albums get 2 times the sales. So that's one of the reasons that they often are the
yeah.
highest selling albums.
But also being less selfish. Speaking about the selfish thing, I think Dre was actually doing a solo album, but then I don't know if it was a label or if Big Boy said, you know, I'll just do a solo album. So Dre was like, why don't we just put them together
Yeah.
and call it Outkast? So again, he still was staying true to Outkast while still doing his own thing. There's on some songs, Big Boy's on his
Yeah,
album,
yeah. And vice versa. Yeah.
So I kind of like that. So yeah, I like when I listen to how
Speaker
I
Box on the Love Below, man. Great album.
get
For
that.
y'all who haven't heard that one, make sure y'all check it out.
It
It's
goes
a classic.
and find that song, find that movie. Oh, what the heck is that movie called?
I know what you're talking
Oh
about.
my God, it's right there. Y'all know what I'm talking
Something
about?
Hollywood.
No.
Um,
It was right. It was almost you almost got me back there.
um,
Oh my goodness, what the heck?
I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna kick myself later.
The Andre 3000 album and film.
Yeah,
with the same name.
Oh God darn, it was
Just look it up.
Oh my God,
Driftwood, something. What the hell?
it's
is the name?
something with Driftwood. It's something like that though. Oh my God, I see it in my mind and I cannot think of it. And that movie was surprisingly good. It was like him and Big Boy played off of each other so well. It was their first movie.
What the hell was it?
The heck is the
Did I
name of
find
that?
it?
It's something.
I
Wood.
still can't find it. Oh, here we go. I
Oh,
got
yeah.
the discography.
Yeah.
Pull it up this way. Yeah, for sure though. But it so you started making like you started making themes around your album as well.
Yeah, I started.
After you heard that,
right, because
this is crazy.
like I said, I've been inspired by many people that's come before me, like most people are. And when you hear something, at least me, I take a lot of information in. So when you say something to me that I've never heard of before,
You
that's
take it
like,
and you sit
dang,
on it.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, okay. Never thought of it that way. I'm one of those people. I don't just dismiss it like, no, I'm good.
Idlewild.
Idlewild,
That
there
was the
it
name.
is.
Damn, you found the faster. I
You
couldn't
found
find that bitch for nothing. I was searching.
I knew it. I knew it
Idlewild.
was I, but I couldn't tell you what
I knew it was something like Hollywood or what I say, Driftwood.
You said Driftwood.
Idlewild, yeah.
Idlewild, good movie. Go see it. Not go see it, but find Idlewild. Outcast. Watch that movie. Yes, it has some of their music. Have some music videos in it, but it flows together when stuff is happening. Like for Colored Girls, the poems they just kind of flow in the movie. So go see Idlewild. I mean, don't go see it. Find it.
Go find it. Go stream that.
Find it.
Go stream
Find
that
it.
bitch
Yeah,
one time.
find it.
All right, so you're doing the performances. You're recording your own music.
Yeah.
When was the first time that you got true validation? Now you told me about the homies listening to it and sneaking it in
At
on
the
them and letting
crib,
them hear it at the
yeah,
crib.
yeah.
But when was the first time that you felt like y'all really got something with this? When was the first time you had that hint of validation through the music?
Oh man. Like when I really thought, yeah, I got something here.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Was it a show? Was it a performance? Was it something that someone that you looked up to said that like, oh, I'm really? What was it that? Was it you know what I mean, a cosign by an artist you respect? What was that?
I think it was. I think it was all those things because as I went on and began doing things, and more people was feeling my stuff, I was like, dang, this ain't just something I'm doing. Like, people really like my stuff. Now, there is a lot of pressure when it comes to that. Because they say in the record business, it's easy to get in, but it's hard to stay.
Right.
And there's a lot of truth to that because I would like to think, because how many artists have you seen come and go so fast?
Longevity's a thing, yeah.
It is. So I had to stop thinking of trying to just think of songs that's going to cater to people and just do me. And I just started doing
That's a
me.
strong lesson, bro.
Yeah.
Whenever you have that realization and you stop chasing it and you remember the reason that you're doing it, you started doing it to begin with, because no one ever, if you're truly passionate about it, no one ever gets in it with hopes to be famous. They do it because they love to do it.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. And that's funny you said. I was just about to say that. I never thought of fame as far as like, we joke about it, like, but I never wrote to be rich or to be famous. I wrote for people to hear my music, and I
Yeah.
wanted them to like it. Of course, you want people to like your stuff.
And it'd be great to do it full time and not have to worry
Right.
about doing nothing but what you're
Man.
passionate about. And that's music or whatever it may be.
Yes.
If you're a painter and you like painting, and you
Yes.
could do it full time.
You do it full time. If it's something you could just quit your day job and just go out and do what you do, that's an amazing thing. But I tell
They say if you're doing something you love to do, it's never work.
it's never worked.
Yeah.
It's never worked. And I feel like this. When it comes down to the difference between a hobby and passion, you could be really good at a hobby. Like you could be really good. Like you be building or creating something, even rapping. You could be really good at it. A hobby is when you do something whenever you get to it
Yeah.
or whenever you feel like doing it. A passion is something you can't help but to do.
Yeah. It's always going to be a part of you.
You can't help but to do. There's times I woke up from sleeping with lyrics on my mind. And I had to find a book and a doctor so I could write it down or something like that. That's how I knew, and it was at that moment I knew that it was
It's
in
a
me.
part of you.
It wasn't just something where I just wrote something. It was catchy. People liked it.
Yeah.
It's no this. It's become something where I can't help it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even with the movies and stuff like that, these are things that I don't just do. It's just who I am. So sometimes, yes, I am going to be on the movie set. And other times, I am going to be writing lyrics and doing shows and doing stuff like that. All of them are part of me. I
Yeah.
can't just. Somebody asked me,
It's
well,
not something you can quit doing.
well, somebody asked that before. Well, if you was able to just do this and not do this, which one would you choose? I can't answer that
There's no
question.
choice. Yeah.
I can't answer that question. And like I said, I'm an artist, so not just rapping, but like I draw.
Yeah.
And again, Dave Brodsky, like I said, he said that to me one time. He said, because he wanted to see, he was gonna try to get me in
I
Disney.
hope Dave B catch this one, man.
Yeah,
You've been
I
getting a
hope
lot
so.
of love in this
Yeah,
one, bro. So,
yeah, really, really looked out for it.
Yeah.
He said to me, he said, if you can, what would you do? Which one would you choose?
Yeah.
If I gave you the choice to take you there, would you choose rapping or would you choose art? Like working at Disney or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I told you straight up, I can't answer that, dude. They're like, no, let's say Disney is paying all this, or you could be the successful rapper. Just pick one. I said, I can't make that decision. I can't because let's say I went all in with the rapping, became this big star. You know what I mean? I'd love that. But then I still have this other part of me I still want to do.
Being unfulfilled. Yeah.
Right. So I had to find a way to do everything in its own time.
Right.
And
Let
make,
it come to
and
you.
make it and make it work. So again, I hope Dave B's still with me.
Yeah,
'cause,
man.
he was an older guy, but
Yeah.
I miss.
If he is, hopefully he catch this one
Yeah, I miss
somehow,
him.
some way.
Yeah. So, but I looked up. I look up to a lot of people who was around me. Anybody older who really said something to me, it stuck with me. It really sunk into me. I wasn't somebody that just dismissed you. I was somebody where I was like,
Absorbing the
wow,
information.
okay.
Yeah.
And again, and I'm gonna say this, and I realize a lot of people don't really feel the way I feel when it comes down to this. When it comes down to saying the N word in my lyrics, I used to say it all the time when I first started. Because again, it wasn't. I'm not somebody that does that anymore, and the reason why is because I was on the bus one time, me and my friends on the back of the bus, and we were sitting there, and we were just talking. I guess it flew out of our mouths or something like that. And there was this older guy sitting up front, or at least a little further up from us. And he turned around. He said, "Why you say that word?" I call myself trying to play interference. Like, all right, look, I know what you're gonna say.
Was it an older black gentleman?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And he was like, we really felt some type of way. Yeah, I was like, look, I know what you're gonna say. See, but you gotta understand. See, we put this positive spin on the word.
Okay.
So this, that, and the other thing is, I'm telling you, I'm going into my old bag, and I'm thinking I'm shutting this dude down. Not even disrespectfully. I just figured I would just kind of let me stop this dude, let
Finessing
him
it.
know I'm not trying to be
Yeah.
ignorant with it. I'm letting him know it's cool now. And he just went in on me. he was like, "Do you know what that word means for our people?" And he started going into all this stuff and stuff and stuff. Now I'm not telling anybody not to say if that's how if you feel cool with it. That's on you. I'm just telling you my lesson. Because like I said, when it came down to it, the things he said made sense.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me. I could have shut him down right now. Be quiet, old man. I ain't trying to hear that. But the fact that he said something to us sitting in the back,
Yeah, he took time out of his day to address y'all about
he didn't
this.
know how we would react to it.
Right.
But the fact that we were younger men saying that to him, saying that around him, and maybe he lived that or around that, and to see where we've come and to still use that word, I guess in his mind, why are you saying that?
He was trying to put y'all on game.
Right.
Yeah.
So and he went so hard on me. I was like, and I couldn't understand because I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, you know. But sorry for sniffles.
No,
I'm getting
yeah,
over
it's all
cold. But I had told him, and he was so passionate, but he didn't care what we were saying. He didn't care how I felt about it. He wanted to let me know.
Yeah.
And that sat with me for the longest time. And I was like, damn, this dude's serious. That meant something to him.
Yeah.
And the fact that he said it the way he said it, how he said it, when he said it, I felt like
It was a
maybe
message
I
that you
needed to
needed
hear
at
that.
that time. Yeah.
And I never used it again in my lyrics.
One
So-
time for the people, how can they get a hold of you if they want to follow what you're doing, see what you got going on?
Yo, you can get me on Instagram at Ddaddyfication. You can also go on Ddaddyfication to see any of my films or anything that I've done
Yeah.
on YouTube. I don't think I said that, on YouTube. Also on Facebook, you get me under my government, which is Andre Harriet. You'll see me hold my daughter, my right hand. But also you can get me on the Forever Fusion. Go on Facebook on Forever Fusion. So you can check that out. Got a lot of stuff going on. Be looking out for the movie. After the Call will be out next year in January. Putting a lot of work into it. Shout out again.
Oh, don't worry, brother. We ain't done yet. I just like to do that at some point in time.
Oh, okay. I just
want. I don't want to forget. I
My man,
always do
okay.
it when I'm thinking about it. We always try to let people know how to get a hold of you and the
Oh
best
no, I
way to
appreciate it.
reach out to you and they can
Yeah.
follow what you got going on. And this
Yes,
is
yes.
Marley State of Mind, the world's dopest podcast down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios. So we gotta remind them of these things every once in a while.
Facts.
And
facts.
of course, if y'all haven't subscribed or liked or shared, do all that cool stuff that they say, I always forget to do those sort of things too. Make sure y'all do that as well.
Do that.
But yeah, no. So you taking in the advice from the OG,
Yeah.
and you said that's just always been a part of your structure. How you were built is
Yeah.
you were able to take in advice, absorb it, do some self inventory, see how it relates to you. Why are people saying this to you,
Yeah.
and turn it into fuel to move you forward,
Yeah.
to progress. And that's a beautiful thing that you're able to do that, because a lot of people could take it in a negative way,
Right.
hear criticisms or critiques, and just think people were coming down on them or saying these different things to them just to be malicious, when in fact they're saying it to build you up and to try to make
Yeah.
you a better version of yourself. So the
pull
fact that
you
you're
out the
able to
box.
absorb that and do that, it speaks a lot to your character and who you are as a person. So
Yes, sir.
I mean, if you're hearing this now and you're an artist coming up, people may criticize you or say something to you about your approach to the game or what you're doing. Don't necessarily find that to be a bad criticism. Now, sometimes you do have to separate. People do just say things for the sake of saying things.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the internet age, people will troll you just for the sake of trolling you. Be able to filter that out, but
Yeah.
also be able to understand the criticism that you get. Why are they saying that? And you don't have to necessarily apply it, but definitely give it some serious consideration, and it might help you on your road to success. Now, before I let you go, I definitely want to get into the filmmaking aspect of it and the screenwriting aspect, because we spent a lot of time on the music.
Yeah.
What gave you your introduction into that world? How were you introduced into screenwriting and filmmaking?
Originally, I never really thought about writing movies. You know what I mean? Or anything like that. It was just like, you play around with the camera here and there. You act out a little silly stuff. But I never really thought about, actually making movies. That didn't come till later. I don't know what actually pushed me to do it, because I think it was always in me to do it.
Yeah.
And I remember I was I would get all these parts, these extras as extras.
Okay. Yeah.
I was an extra in the next 3 days with Russell Crowe, the Kill Point with John Leguizamo and stuff like that. So I've done like little stuff like that. So even though it was no lines, it was like I felt what it was like to be on set.
Right.
But then I went from that to playing roles in these other movies, and I was like, hey, you know what I mean? This is all right.
You
know
started
what I
to
mean?
get the bug a little bit for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
film industry. Yeah.
So it was already there, but that really just threw me
Spurred it on.
Because I don't think there was this one movie. Shout out to Michelle Morris. She wrote and produced a movie that she put me in called The Gift of Movement, and I wasn't even supposed to be in the movie, not originally.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you how it works. I was just writing the music for it, so that was the whole plan.
Yeah.
But I kind of knew her. She kind of knew me. She kind of knew me, and something happened where somebody backed out, and she called me and she said,
She already knew you had the chops. You had a little bit of experience.
"Yeah,
with
because she
film
knew
and
I
all that.
rapped. She knew how I was in videos and stuff." And she said, "I want you to play this part." I said, "What?" She's like, the guy backed out. I want you to play a part." I said, "Oh, well, what you want me to play?" I'm thinking it's gonna be an athlete or something like that. She's like, "I want you to play a pastor." I said, "You want to play what?" She's like, "A pastor." And she's a white girl, so she was like, "And when you do it, can you do it like the black pastors do it? You know, and God said, and this and that, you know, and he take you to the mountaintop." And I was like, "I don't think I should do it like that."
Is that how she did it over the phone to you?
Yeah, because she thought that's how black pastors did it.
That's hilarious.
So I said, "I don't think I should do it that way." She was like, yeah, no, it got to be more authentic. Do it like that. So
Authentic.
that's what she said. So she sent me the script.
That's great.
And I'm looking over the script, and I'm like, "Oh man, I gotta learn these lines. I gotta do it like that." So I'm like doing it in the mirror,
Yeah.
you know. And Job said, so she calls me afterward. And she after once I got the script, learned it, she called me. I think it was like the next day or something like that. It was like the next day or the day after, and she called me and she said, "All right, deliver it to me." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "And Job said, blah, blah, blah." She was like, "Don't do that."
Hey, yo.
She's like, "Don't do that."
All that happened to get back to that conclusion that, like, I already told you we shouldn't be doing this.
Told you shouldn't be doing it. And she said, yeah, don't do that. Just put you into it. I said, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And to learn my lines, going back, talking about music, I was like, how do I remember all these lines?
Mm-hmm.
So I did it in a rhythm.
Yeah.
And then how I would learn my lyrics.
Yeah.
I would show certain words and I would put it in a certain way where it just flowed.
Yeah.
And then once I learned it, then I perfected as far as
Worked
the
on your
acting
delivery.
part. Yes.
It all comes full circle.
So it
yeah.
all comes back around. And after the movie came out in the theaters, we was coming out, we had like a little after party, and people was asking me, "Hey, what church do you preach at? How can I come see you to your church?"
It was that authentic for
I
them.
said,
They thought,
I'm not a pastor. I was just an actor. And she was like, "Are you serious?" I said, "No, I appreciate that though."
Yeah.
Again, that realization to me, I thought I'm just
Playing a
doing what she
role.
asked me to do. Yeah. The fact that I came off to the fact that people was feeling it the way they were feeling it, and it came off the way it came off, that they actually believe I had my own church.
Yeah.
It was
Success.
Yeah. So it's like little things in your life, when it hits you, you like, okay, I think I want to do this movie.
Yeah.
And so first I was in front of the camera, then I have all these ideas all the time. So I said, dang, I called up a friend of mine, and I told her, I was at work, and I said, "Hey, I got this out there for this movie. It's called Light in a Dark Place." And she was like, "Oh, word?" And I explained it to her. It's a psychological thriller about this guy.
Was
and
this
blah,
was
blah,
this the first thing that you worked on?
Yeah.
Writing?
It was the first big
Project
movie
you
I was
took
really
on.
doing.
Okay.
All the other stuff, I did another movie called Cruise Out of Control, which was like a mental health thing where this girl, she kept running into, she got into an argument with her her boyfriend as she was driving, and the stress of everything that was happening to her hit her. So as she's walking down, she gets out the car. She parks the car in this random place, and she gets out the car and she just starts walking to cool her head. So she goes for her phone to call her dude after she walked a little bit. But as she looks into the distance, she sees something that she recognizes. So when she goes up to it, just to give you a quick thing, it was some headphones, but it was her headphones. Like her actual headphones. Like, what is her headphones
Doing here, yeah, this random spot.
So she put them down. Well, first she's wondering what's happening. She looks out over this wall where it's just these woods, and she sees further down there was something else of her. So she leaps this wall. When she leaps this wall, it just goes into this whole thing where she's just going through the woods, and every object she touched shoots her back to that place. Yeah, it's pretty deep.
What's the name of that again?
Oh, it's called Cruise Out of Control.
Okay,
Yeah.
for sure.
So it's cruise, and then in parentheses out of, and then it comes back to control. Starring a girl named Jordan Nicole.
That's fire. Yeah.
Again, I wrote it, I produced it. She even had ideas for it too, so she helped with it. The concepting of it, conception of it. So, but yeah, after that, I just started doing a little. So that was a short film. It was like 25 minutes.
Then Light in the Dark Place was
Light in the
good.
Dark Place came, yeah. Then that came, and that again started to be like it was going to be a quick thing because I was going through something, and it was something called The Door, and then before you know it, it ballooned into something else.
Right.
You know, you can see the trailer on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, put in Light in the Dark Place trailer 3. You know, you'll see that. You know, any of the movies, just put in Cruise, parentheses Out of Control, Zone Land Zero, Revamp, put that in for that movie. It's just a lot of little movies. It is.
Yeah.
Just to throw a few, but go to Ddaddyfication on YouTube. You'll see my performances, all that stuff.
They'll be able to catch everything there.
Yep. All my performances with me, with Forever Fusion, and just see me get down with the down.
Yeah, know. Man, for sure, for sure. No, man, I appreciate you coming down here to join us. You guys got any shows coming up?
We do have a show. We got a show in January. Is it January? We do have a show in January.
Where's that going to be?
That's out of church. Because we do gospel music too.
Okay.
So, like the band.
Yeah.
So, what's it called? It's AME Baptist Church, where it's this big event. They have these big events, and they have us come out there and perform.
That's what's up.
So we went out there and did it the first time. We was a big hit. They called us out again. We was even bigger hit. Now they want us to come, and they're paying us and all this type of stuff. So, again, check out Forever Fusion. But yeah, that's as far as that goes. As far as Ddaddyfication, I've been putting all my energy into finishing this movie.
Right.
But if something comes up, I might do a show.
The call after.
Yeah, after the call.
After the call.
After
yeah,
the
my
call.
apologies.
It follows after the music video Call Me. Look out for that too. It's on YouTube and on Grind Mode TV.
Oh, shout out Dion, man. That's our people.
Yeah.
Shout out Grind Mode, Dion, and all the things they're doing over there for sure. But yeah, man, no, I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah.
You know, it was wonderful to get to hear about your story and all the things you got going on, man. You're always welcome down here at the Marley State of Mind podcast.
Word.
The world's dopest podcast for sure. So thanks again for joining us, man.
Oh, no doubt.
I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate
For sure.
you.
For everybody else, man, you know, we'll be back next. Do we got any videos on it? That's sad. Anyway, we'll be back at y'all next Saturday for another show, Marley State of Mind podcast, the world's dopest podcast. Also tune in to us every Friday for the Stash Spot. Come smoke with the boys. You know, they do the weed reviews, let you know what's going on. I got to be on episode yesterday, so make sure y'all check that one out. But until next time, you know, Marley State of Mind podcast, the world's dopest podcast, down here at the Bunch of Bulls studio. Make sure y'all subscribe to our station, man. Until next time, we out.